Paul's letter to Philemon. It was written during one of Paul's many imprisonments. It is actually his shortest letter in the New Testament. But don't let its size trick you. It is one of the most explosive things that Paul ever wrote. Here's the backstory that we can piece together from details within the letter. Philemon was a well-to-do Roman citizen from Colossae who likely met Paul during his mission in Ephesus and became a follower of Jesus. Later, when Paul's co-worker Epaphras started a Jesus community in Colossae, Philemon became a leader of a church that met in his house. Now, Philemon, like all household patriarchs in the Roman world, owned slaves, one of whom was named Onesimus. At some point, these two had a serious conflict. Onesimus wronged Philemon in some way. Maybe it was theft, or maybe he cheated him. We don't know exactly, but afterward, Onesimus ran away. Eventually, Onesimus came to Paul in prison, likely to appeal for help. In the process, he became a follower of Jesus and then a beloved assistant of Paul. So Paul finds himself in a very difficult and delicate situation as he writes this letter. He is going to ask Philemon not just to forgive Onesimus and receive him back, but to embrace him as a brother in the Messiah and no longer as a slave. Paul opens with a prayer, first praising Philemon and thanking God for the love and faithfulness he has shown to Jesus and to his people. He then paves the way for his request with this line: "I pray that the partnership that springs from your faith may effectively lead you to recognize all the good things that work in us, leading us into the Messiah." A key word here is partnership, or in Greek, koinonia. It means sharing or mutual participation. It's when two or more people receive something together and share in it, becoming partners. Paul says that faithfulness to Jesus means recognizing that all of his followers are equal partners who share together in the gift of God's love and grace. For Paul, this experience of koinonia among Jesus' followers is not just an idea to think about. It's something you do in your relationships, which moves Paul on to his request. Paul finally brings up Onesimus. He says that he's become Paul's child in prison, meaning that Paul led Onesimus to dedicate his life and allegiance to Jesus. So Paul and Onesimus are now family members in the Messiah. Onesimus has been serving Paul faithfully in prison. Even though Paul wants to keep him around, he knows this unresolved conflict with Philemon has to be reconciled if they claim to be followers of Jesus, which moves Paul to his bold request that Philemon receive Onesimus back, no longer as a slave, but as more than a slave, as a beloved brother in the Lord. This is a really tall order. Under Roman law, Philemon had every legal right to have Onesimus punished or imprisoned. Paul is not only asking him to forgive Onesimus, but to welcome back his former slave into Colossae as a social equal, as a family member. This is way more than kindness. This is unheard of. It's freeing a slave and then treating him like a brother. It upsets the status quo of the Roman social order. Paul's brilliant move. Why should Philemon do such a thing? Here, Paul pulls a brilliant move. He recalls that key word from the opening prayer. He says, "If you are truly a partner with me," that's that Greek word again, koinonia. Then Paul continues, "Welcome Onesimus as if he were me. If he has wronged you or owes you anything, charge it to me, and I will repay it." In this request, we see the heart of Paul's gospel message being acted out. First of all, it's about reconciliation. Just like Paul told the Corinthians, in the Messiah, God was reconciling the world to himself, not counting people's sins against them. In this situation, Paul is putting himself in the place of Jesus. He will absorb the consequences of Onesimus's wrongdoing. He will pay the cost so that Onesimus can be reconciled to Philemon. But Paul's message is about more than just a legal transaction. It is also about koinonia. Onesimus, Philemon, and Paul are all equals before God. They all share the same need for forgiveness. The ground is level before the cross, which means that Philemon and Onesimus can no longer relate to each other as master and slave. They are family members. They are brothers in the Messiah. As Paul told Philemon and the whole church in Colossae, in God's new family, people are not Greek or Jewish, circumcised or uncircumcised, foreigners or uncivilized, slave or free, but the Messiah is all and is in all people. Paul closes the letter stating his confidence that Philemon will do even more than he has requested. He asks him to prepare a guest room because he hopes to visit as soon as he gets out of prison. Then, with some final greetings, Paul ends the letter.